Blessed love, not a black again with the praise. Let's reason about something quick. Israelites, black Israelites, Hebrews, all this stuff. Okay, we can make this quick. The children of Israel, they originated, out of the loins of Abraham, you know, and most of us who read the Bible, the story. And, Joshua, pretty Joseph, was sold by his brothers into Egypt, we know about that. But Israel going into, you know, Egypt and then becoming slave captives, Then Israel left Egypt and went into the Middle East, what they call Palestine, all these places. Bethlehem, all those Middle Eastern countries. Yeah, and then Israel fell apart, you know. It's where we tend to kind of go absent in history, is when Israel fell apart. When Israel was in Palestine, in the Middle East at that time, there were some Europeans, Caucasians that, accepted the Jewish faith, the Jewish teachings, the black Israelite teachings. And that's what we'll know as the Ashkenazi Jews, the European, Caucasian, white Jews. At the same time, during the persecution of the Israelites, the Jews, and they were scattered out of the Middle East, out of Palestine, out of Israel at that time. Some of them Israelite them, flee into Ethiopia. They call them the Falasha, you see. Falasha Ethiopian, Falasha Israelites, you see, the Israelites. So with that being said, there is two, as we could say, trace houses of Israelites that exist today that many people know of. They know of the Jewish nation, Zionist nation in the Middle East, with the Ashkenazi Jews, kind of intermingled with, some of the black Hebrew Jews, Then you have down in Ethiopia, you have the Falasha Jews, the Hebrew Israelites, the black Hebrew Falasha Jews. They're kind of more well known to people, especially in this modern day time. Now, the reason why I'm making this point, when the Israelites were scattered, out of the Middle East, Palestine, Israel at that time, they scattered into Ethiopia, but also into other parts of Africa. And through the scattering, during the 17th century slave trade, the Israelites were brought, to the Western world, you see. So we have the Israelites who are in the Western world that many are just learning of, according to the prophecy, Deuteronomy chapter 28, say Israel will go into slavery a second time, by slave ships for 400 years, That was I and I who live in the West as black slaves. We're Israelites, you see. We fulfill the prophecy. So now we know there's three Israelites, Hebrews that we're speaking of. He's speaking of the white Hebrews, the Ashkenazi Jews that learned the Jewish faith from the black Hebrews who are in Ethiopia, who are the Falasha, and also us who were scattered in the West. So the combination of us scattered in the West and the Falasha Ethiopians is who actually taught the Ashkenazi Jews, the European Jews, the Hebrewic faith or the Israelite faith or, the Jewish faith. Now, here's the thing. Today, we have You know, the priests, the eunuchs keeping, the churches of Lalabella in Ethiopia, and they're known as the Israelite, the Falasha Israelites, Reason why this is significant because the Falasha Jews in Ethiopia and the Ashkenazi Jews mixed with some, black Jews in the Middle East, you know, they moving by the Levitical law. Yeah, their priesthood is the Levitical priesthood. You see? What makes the Jews, the Israelites that are in the West that went into slavery, what makes them different is that they were scattered Israelites, but they were gathered by Christ, by Melchizedek. You see, the black Christ in flesh, King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, come in the West and remind, all the Israelites in the West that we are priests. But this time he said he didn't come to teach us the priesthood of the Levites, but he come to teach us the priesthood after the order of Melchizedek. So the priests in the West, following King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, is carrying forth the Melchizedek order. The priests in Ethiopia, under the Ethiopian eunuchs and Abonas, they carrying forth the Levitical order. The priests in the Middle East, in Palestine, and in Israel, what they call the Israel Jewish nation today, the Israelis, yeah, they practice in the Levitical order. You see, that's very significant, you see, because the Bible says when Christ returned, yeah, in Revelation chapter 7, which is now, Christ is gonna, call 12,000 from each of the tribes of Israel. 12,000 from Benjamin, we could read it in Revelation chapter 7. 12,000 from Reuben, 12,000 from Simeon, 12,000 from Judah, 12,000 from Issachar. He's going to call 12,000 from each of these tribes in the west. Yeah, and then he's going to make 144,000 elect saints after the order of Melchizedek. And he's going to dress them in white turbans and white robes. You see, singing the song unto Rastafari. Praising the king of Ethiopia, you see. So I just wanted to point this out because even now we have a fourth. Yeah, make you scratch your head. We have a fourth house of Israelite. There's a group of black Africans, in the West that's saying they're Hebrew Israelites. Yeah. Again, after the order of the Levites. Yeah. Yeah, the brothers in America, practicing the Hebrew Israelite faith, they themselves are practicing the Levite order. And Christ made it very clear in the book of Hebrews chapter 7 that the Levitical order couldn't save no one. Yeah, cutting the goat's neck and sprinkling the blood on the altar, that can't save no one. God is not pleased with that. He said, a broken and a contrite spirit, the Lord will not despise. Sons and daughters, give me thine heart, and I'll give thee my I'll give you my ever living kingdom. The man also say, if I was hungry, would I ask you for food? So when you go and you bring your offerings, your meat offerings, that's not to feed me. I'm not hungry. I don't need your sacrifices. I need obedience. The man said obedience is better than sacrifice. Yeah, the man say, Father Moses come with commandments and principles. And the black Christ 2,000 years ago say he didn't come to change the law, but to live it, to fulfill the law. He said, even I am Lord of the Sabbath. Hence, in the Ten Commandments say, keep the Sabbath day holy. So Christ didn't come to put away the Sabbath because he kept the Sabbath. Christ didn't put away the commandments on stealing because Christ didn't steal. Christ didn't put away the commandments on killing because Christ didn't kill. Christ didn't put away the commandments on adultery because Christ didn't commit adultery. He kept all the commandments. So he fulfilled them. So we give thanks, in this time, for the black house of Israelite. Where our worthy founder and leader, King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, is the black Christ in flesh, return in this time as Melchizedek, the high priest. The man say in Hebrews chapter 7, who through trial and error became the author of salvation. So we give thanks for the Levitical order, that carry the Ark of the Covenant, that kept the testament, that carried forward the sacrifices, which represent the Lamb, which represent Melchizedek, the King of Salem. But in this time, the man say, when the scepter leave Judah, it will be given to Shiloh, the Salem, the King of Peace, Melchizedek, King Melchizedek. And when we look at Rastafari, King Rastafari from the house of Judah, yeah, that's the house of Judah right there. He said, when the scepter leave Judah, the house of Judah, the king stepped down off the throne and he didn't continue on. Yeah, the monarch. Yeah, the scepter left Judah. Yeah, and the king came down into Egypt, Jamaica in 1966. And he handed the kingdom over to Shiloh, to Melchizedek, King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. Yeah, who's registered today, even today, in the United Nations as the crown champion of human rights and justice. Yeah, he's the crown champion. So we do give thanks, for the Melchizedek return in this time to bring the Melchizedek order, the salvation to the world, the Black Christ order. This is the same order that Jesus Christ walked after 2,000 years ago. And even in them times, yeah, the Christ 2,000 years ago had to deal with the Levites, the Pharisees and scribes, those who carried out the sacrifices and the rituals. And, Christ tell him that he come to put that away. He laid down his life as a lamb. He is the lamb, the living lamb, that, fight the evil heads of government, that fight the evil world, the evil teachings of the false churches and prophets. Yeah, King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, the wrestling Jacob of old, black wrestling Jacob, fighting the evil white world. Roman Catholic Church's 666 teachings, death to see God. The man can't dead and see God. Yeah, 1 John chapter 4 say, man, any man that say Christ is not in the flesh is the Antichrist. Yeah, God in flesh. Any man that say Christ is in flesh is of God. So we give thanks for even King Emmanuel Charles Edwards teaching this time the black Christ in flesh, to deliver the black house of Israelite. Yeah, to return us as one family, one priesthood, unto our God, Rastafari. So even in this time, we call in, all from the houses of Levi and from all the houses of Reuben and all these different houses. Yeah, to come to the Melchizedek order. Yeah, to come to the high priest order. This is the only salvation order for the world. The lamb's order, the lamb's bread. The lamb laid down his life. Yeah, no more need, yeah, for those sacrifices of goat and sheep and ox and all them things. No. Yeah, Jah done away with the multiple festivals and Sabbaths. You know what I mean? One Sabbath, 6-day labor, 7-day rest. 7-day Sabbath unto the Lord. That's Melchizedek order. Christ is Lord of the Sabbath. Jah, Rastafari, black again.